All you need to know from last time is ship's not big wooden puppies. And Shaft tried to make new friends, but they must not have liked him, 'cause they left. And maybe a couple other things.
So as you progress, you do finally hit this bridge, and you actually see some travelers kind of crossing it as well, and you kind of run into them. It's just 3 humans. They're all wearing kind of leather armor, and they are armed. Yeah, and you kind of immediately you perk up, and they seem to be talking about a blue light and towers.
Interesting.
This sounds familiar.
Was there any noises or anything? Did you hear any humming or anything that might have been coming from the towers beyond just the blue light?
Nothing from the blue light, but the thing that is haunting me is more than anything else is the voices that came from the Cobra.
Percy, there could be something in Pisces for us. I've seen something on the boards.
Yes, perhaps we could double dip.
Gozer's been looking around this whole time. Where's ship? Where big wooden puppy?
There are no puppies on my ship.
Where's ship?
This ship, are you blind?
That's not a big wooden puppy. Yeah, I'm not gonna get my own room. I'm gonna, wherever Falzy gets his room, I'm gonna set up outside his door.
But now, adventure continues.
So the 3 of you have making it back to the S9 Leopard. Bryn's still doing her dock work, or lack thereof. You kind of get back to the Leopard for the second time. Now you can clearly see, without the distraction of the growing crowd and the commotion, where this jobs board is, it is made very public. I mean, it's like the equivalent of like a cork board in a rec center, right, with all of these guitar lessons, and you like pull off the telephone number or whatever,
Gozer be barred.
Yeah, loot lessons.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys wanted to maybe take a look at the board, or Falden, you had said you want to get a room. It's not like it's the evening and you would be bedding down right away, but you could still certainly procure a room for the night.
I'll ask to see how much vacancy there is, and if there's plenty, then I'll wait to do that until later.
And the bartender, he kind of just tells you, like, being the town that they are, like, people are always coming and going, oftentimes checking out well before or later than they say that they will, kind of thing. So currently there are some vacancies, yes, but not guarantees that they won't be filled up should maybe another ship from Heraklion full of passengers come in, and maybe people may seek lodgings from that, but currently there are vacancies.
What does a room go for?
Oh, the standard gold piece a night.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll reserve one now, just to be safe.
And you want a single room?
No, I'll get a double.
His face right now. Why a double?
Well, just in case.
Because he expects Izzy to join him.
Sure, that'll double the price, of course, but...
Okay, that's fair.
You procure a room key?
I'm gonna check out the board.
Yeah, you inspect it, and you see there are currently about 5 active jobs, it looks like, posted to this board. Seems that they're from various people in Port Randus, or in the case of the tower job, which you do see is posted up there, kind of just a little scribble to investigate these blue towers, contact Mayor Blake Lakely and Goldham for further details, a 10,000 gold apiece reward.
Wow. I'd look at Gozer and go, man, they're getting paid a lot more than we are. It's ridiculous. Maybe we should find out who's paying this. Is there any jobs on there that go to Pisces? That have anything to do with Pisces?
You do see the job that Agnes had mentioned about the temporary crew for the supply run. It's a supply run to Rockdale with a stop in Pisces, and then a return trip to Port Randus. And there's one for just manual labor, working the docks themselves, so, unloading ships and stuff. 10 gold piece a day. You also see the job that the people that passed you on that bridge outside of Port Randus kind of briefly mentioned about investigating the river blockade and to clear it.
Yeah, I want to read that one a little closer. What does it really entail?
Yeah, there's not much information. It just kind of outlines that somewhere along this river, clearly something is blocking it and stymieing the flow, and just if it can be cleared, it pays 150 gold pieces.
Okay. Does it have anything on there that says go see the bartender for further information, or where would one procure these jobs? Is there a way to?
Yeah, they all kind of have a contact name.
Okay, who's the one for the river job?
Harold Cheshire.
Okay.
And it kind of gives a location of where to find him. It kind of references down near the docks. When you guys were actually at the docks, you could kind of see to the northern side of these docks. You can see this dried up riverbed that clearly feeds into the surrounding ocean. And little buildings along this river that could very well have some type of industry to do with it, and that's kind of where this scribble kind of directs you to. And there's one last job on there. It mentions vandals are attacking an underwater salvage crew and messing with their equipment.
Huh.
Specifically, some security needed at night to catch the culprits. Pays 200 gold pieces.
100, that's not too shabby.
And that one directs you to see a woman named Henrietta Dorset, who runs Dorset Salvage.
So that's a late night one.
Yes, that would be like a night watch, basically.
Okay, is Falzer, or you're still down there? You just procured the room, right? You didn't go up to your room.
Yeah, I think I would have wandered over to where you're looking at this job postings board.
No, when he got the key from the bartender for his room, I took it from him and I grabbed him by the arm and I said, come with me. Come with me. And we went up to his room and I started to booby trap his room and show him how to do it.
Oh, okay. You want to share this room tonight, Gozer?
No, you do this. You'll be safe.
Okay.
And I booby trap your window and I show you how to block the door after I leave. You do this.
Well, there are 2 beds. I figured either Bryn or Shaft or you or someone would want to share this room, potentially.
I'd love to take bed. Yeah. I'd love to take big bed.
You're welcome to if you want, Duff.
Yes, Duff sleep in bed. Goes or watch door.
Okay.
Okay, while they're up there setting booby traps, I guess I'll go over to the bar and say, hey, looking for some entertainment this evening. Where would a fellow like me find a place like that?
Entertainment, I see. Well, we get many folks such as yourself looking for entertainment.
Oh, by the way, my name's Shaft. Who is this guy? What's he look like?
So the bartender is kind of this portly man. He's got kind of rosy cheeks and thinning brown hair on top of his head. Yes, my name's Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Yeah, Jeff. I'm looking for something, something a little more higher class, if you know what I mean.
Well, our most popular establishment is the Grungy Goblin.
Yeah, heard of it. Doesn't sound appealing to me. Do you have any other options?
Well, yes, but with the higher class does come a higher price, which is kind of why the Grungy Goblin is a little more popular, as the prices seem to be a little more affordable.
Absolutely, understandable. Where would I find... What's the name of this upper class establishment?
Why, I myself have been to the Golden Clam on a few occasions.
Oh, now you're talking. I would be interested. Do I need to know someone to be able to get into a place like this?
Well, they do have a strict dress code. Just something finer, something nice. Possibly maybe some silk garments. I wouldn't suggest showing up in your armor as you are, as they do like to maintain a certain a certain je ne sais quoi.
Of course. Okay, I guess the other place might do in a pinch. Where would I find what would you call it? The greasy goblin?
The grungy goblin.
Oh, grungy. Yeah, greasy would have been better. I'll go for that. Where would I find that place?
And he gives you some basic directions.
Okay. I'll give him a gold piece. Say, hey, can you reserve a room for me? And then I'll throw a couple silver on there. Thanks for the information.
My pleasure. And he kind of hands you your own key.
By the way, if I was to go to the other place, where would I find that?
Oh yeah, sure. That's up at the kind of the northern section of town.
Okay, just gives me sort of directions.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you. And then I go over to Gozer and say, I'm gonna move around town a little bit. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Okay.
Oh wait, you guys are upstairs. Hey guys, I'm going around town a little while. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Wake us up when you get in. I'm just kidding.
All right, so I leave.
Okay. So Gozer and Falzy, what do you guys want to do after you go through this little bit of tutelage?
I will probably go do what Shaft did. I want to go look at the job postings. I'm running a bit low on gold, and would be curious to know what's up for grabs.
Okay, great. And you kind of, you get the same information that Shaft received.
Okay, and then I'll probably just grab an ale from the bar.
Okay, great. Gozer?
Food.
Okay, are you gonna sit with Falzy?
Where are you sitting, Falzy?
Wherever there's a seat.
Then I'm gonna pick him up from where he is, carry him to a back secluded table, or drag him, I guess. Drag him to a back secluded table, growl at the people at that table till they get up and move, and put him in a seat and sit down there and go, "Bring me food."
Oh, okay, Gozer. You could have just asked me to come back here with you, but I guess we're here now.
Falzy, come here to table.
Okay.
Where my food?
You want me to bring you food?
No. Wait, girl.
Oh, you want a waiter?
Yes.
So I kind of raise my hand and wave down whoever I can see.
Yeah, and being the size of the establishment, there are 3 or 4 waiters or waitresses kind of hustling around, and yet they immediately come over to take whatever order you want to place.
Meat and ale.
Well, we have a large selection of meat. I mean,
Don't care. Meat and ale.
excellent, easy to remember.
Stuff too.
Yeah. Stuff what meat
Meat.
and ale.
Yes.
You don't happen to have maybe a shepherd's pie?
I'm sure the kitchen can work something out.
That'd be wonderful.
All right, and she goes to put in you guys' order. Bryn, how long are you going to be hanging around these docks, kind of drunkenly lifting boxes?
Yeah,
or
so
pretending
as I'm sobering up and trying to do what I can, there's other people doing this with me, loading the boat, right?
Yep.
Anyone that looks magical, or is it all just kind of common people?
Actually, now that you are kind of surreptitiously inspecting these people, there is one man that kind of stands out a little bit. He is dressed in full robes, whereas the rest of them are more in trousers and long sleeve shirts. This man's robes kind of look a little similar to Falzern's, actually.
Yeah, I as I'm sobering up, I'm just thinking about Falzarin and that magic I saw him do on Gozer. Mm-hmm. And so I would like to go up to this magical-looking person in the robes and introduce myself and say, hey, my name's Bryn. You have robes that look like a friend of mine. He's a wizard. Are you a wizard?
Well, I'm actually an alchemist. I do hail from Heraklion.
Oh, okay. Do you know Falzarin?
Why, yes. Do you know Falzarin?
Yes, I do. Well, what's your name?
My goodness, my name's Brendel.
Brendel.
Bryn, it's a pleasure to meet you. Is Falzarin with you?
At the moment, I think he's back at the, what's the name of that, Leopard Inn?
Oh, the Aspara.
You know the
yes,
one.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, Asinine. What are you working this job or working this boat?
Actually, I was searching for Falzarin. I visited Zexa because I knew that's where he was going once he left Heraklion, but by the time I arrived, he wasn't there. I mean, I spoke to some woman who also knew him. Maybe you know her. Her name was, I believe, Good?
Isabella. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, this changes what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask about the specific type of magic I saw my friend Falzarin doing.
Oh, yeah, he's quite a proficient wizard.
Yeah. You're a wizard, right, Brendel?
Well, again, I specialize more in potions and...
Alchemy's potions. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I don't know all the technicalities of you guys in robes or anything like that. So Falzarin's your friend. He left?
Well, yes, he left Heraklion in search of his own interests, and I'm sure he talks your ear off about these interesting magical artifacts that he always loves to tinker with.
Yeah, I mean the guy is very, very blinded by magic, that's for sure. But I mean we'd never heard your name or kind of heard much about Heraklion, let's say. So why were you looking for him again? I don't know if you said.
I didn't know. Unfortunately there's been a death on Heraklion. A mutual friend of ours has passed away. Suddenly fell ill, and his health rapidly declined very, very quickly shortly after Falzarin left, and I wanted to be the one to tell him.
Oh, okay. What's your friend's? Well, I'm sorry to hear. Sorry for your loss. What's the friend's name?
His name was Memnar.
Memnar. Okay, so is this like a mentor of his or something, or?
Well, he was a fellow student of ours, like a fellow
Oh, okay.
seeker of knowledge, as Falzarin loves to put it.
He likes to say magic user a lot.
Yes, well, that may be his upbringing on Heraklion. Is some of the more wizened wizards there, they have their own nomenclature in the language, and I think he tries to emulate a few of the members there.
Okay, so you were gonna take this boat to Pisces or wherever?
Well, I wasn't sure what to do. I really have no clue in the direction that he could have left. I mean, I could have been wandering for forever. I just was hoping to find a ship that would just take me back to Heraklion.
Okay. Now, Brendel, how well do you know Falzarin? Like, pretty well? You'd say he's, like, a pretty good guy?
I know him quite well. I mean, I consider him to be my best friend.
I've only known him for a little while now. Okay, so he's your best friend. Personally, I'm a little bit worried about the guy. I don't know him super well.
Well, what has happened? I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks. What?
Yeah, so, well, we met in Zexa. We'll start there. And he decided to follow a little adventure group that we, a few of us banded together to do a few jobs together, and he's not in it for the money, you know him, he just wants it for the experience and the magic and to learn and observe. And this Isabella lady that you met, did you get like good vibes from her? Because she is something else.
Well, I mean, we only spoke briefly, and she was quite polite. I mean, she had no information for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, so my worries kind of revolve around Isabella. She is a very, very powerful lady. She is not as she appears to be. And Falzarin, she took him. She captured him. Like he was in the hotel with us one night. We wake up, he's gone.
Is he okay?
That's the thing. That's what I'm wondering, Brendel, because we went and rescued him, but he doesn't seem the same.
Perhaps we could move somewhere a little more private here, away from the workers here. And you guys just kind of move off of this dock, just kind of out of immediate earshot of the people in the direct vicinity of you guys.
Can I do a insight to see how much I trust him with what I'm about to say? I kind of already do because
Yeah, it's a little late for that.
no, I definitely.
You told them
I'm
a
just
lot.
saying, like, yeah, it is late. You know what?
Why
It's fine.
don't you let him reply, and then you can decide whether or not you want
Yes,
to
okay.
do an insight. Well, I mean, I am of course delighted to hear that you've got him back. Now, I mean, I don't know if you're aware, but there's always been something different about Falzarin. He rarely speaks of it, and even to me, someone who's very close with him, I've never really received all the full details of what happened to him when he was a young teenager before he arrived in Heraklion. But I just know this event was life changing for him. Perhaps that has something to do with this Isabella woman.
So I couldn't help but hear you said he arrived in Heraklion as a teenager. So he wasn't born there.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't told you this story.
Well,
Perhaps maybe you should just take me to him before I continue. I want to speak out of turn.
yeah. You know what though? Like our group, we haven't really cared to know about his background. He's just kind of like the puppy that tagged along, you know. But good guy, right?
Well, is he at the Leopard? You said.
Yeah, I think that's where he'd stay the night. I was trying to, earn a day's wage working on this boat tonight.
Oh,
today,
as was
so-
I. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to earn your keep. You must pay for your lodgings. I was simply just trying to help these boats load, as I've kind of been moving across, bouncing back and forth on these docks, just trying to
The
get work
plan is
wherever I
for
can.
us to come back to this boat in the morning. Can we not meet you in the morning?
Yes, but I mean, it's quite urgent that I speak with Falzarin. I mean, I hope to convince him to return with me to Heraklion.
Yeah, he's not going to go tonight, though, right?
Well, I mean, possibly if there's a ship that is leaving with supplies, maybe we can pay for passage. But
The rest of us, because it's not just Falzarin and I, right? Like, we're not heading that way. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to meet you back here in the morning.
oh, okay. I mean, the way you speak about Falzarin, it doesn't seem as if you have much of an attachment, you or the rest of this group that you say he just follows along with. Well, if you say he is at the Leopard, I shall finish my work here, and I'll make my own way there, and hopefully find him myself. I mean, thank you for the information.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'll go back with you. It's all right. I'd like to, ease you. Our group is kind of rough around the edges, so I'll go with you. I know you know Falzarin, but there's a few others. It'll help if I'm there to kind of defend you, so I'll come with you.
Okay, well, as I said, I have maybe another hour or so of work that I have committed to, and will hopefully be paid for. So if you are happy to wait, or are you also hoping to?
Does he have any
to help?
belongings with him, or is it just his person?
He kind of, has a bag kind of slung over his shoulder. You're kind of your typical thing, maybe.
Is he putting it down when he works? I'd like to look in his bag.
Okay, yeah, he would certainly not want to. It would get in his way of performing his duties. So yes,
Yeah.
he would place it down. And he goes back to work. Do you just basically stand there and watch him put it down and go back to work, or are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch where it is and go back to work. But then I would like to, move one box from here to there, close to it, sleight of hand, pick it up.
Okay,
go somewhere
sure,
private.
sure. And the two of you starts moving boxes. He's clearly received some form of instruction, as you had seen him coming off of the ship from the gangplank, which is
Yep.
he
So he's
was
not even
clearly
on the ship.
he was yes, he's already been on the ship. He was clearly down below deck or something, while the group of you had originally been here
Okay.
and had resurfaced once his task was complete, as he continues to move some smaller crates back up these gangplanks and to the deck. So he's kind of moving back and forth.
Yep. So it'd be more around the time that he's leaving the boat that I would like to try to sneak his bag.
Like as he's moving onto it off of the dock.
Right. Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
off the boat. I can sneak to a spot for a second, look in it, and potentially put it back right where I found it. Type
Yep.
thing.
Sure. Okay, why don't you make me a stealth check?
Hope you've got your bow with you.
Yeah, my bow's on me. That is 26.
Okay. So you're able to kind of just, sidestep with this box, kind of set it down and able to kind of block yourself a little bit with it even.
Okay.
And you can rummage through his bag. And it's just kind of a simple, burlap sack. It's been clearly, retrofitted to be slung over a shoulder, right? And, more suitable for an extended travel. As, he clearly wouldn't have had any real indication of how many days he may be away from Heraklion. But in it, you just see, maybe a change of robes. There are a few empty flasks, potion flasks, and some ingredients, it seems, some components that him saying he was an alchemist he may use to concoct some form of potion.
I'm proficient in a poisoner's kit, so do I identify any of them as poison?
Ah, okay. Yeah, you certainly recognize some of the ingredients, should they be combined in the correct ways, that they could produce something toxic. As being an alchemist, he would also have similar knowledge.
That's it.
Yeah, no, nothing else really. A few gold pieces that he's clearly been, using to live on and get by as he's been on his own little mission to find Falzy.
Those ingredients that can be combined to be toxic, are there other uses for them on their own, or is it a pretty obvious pairing of, this is what you go to?
Why don't you roll me an Arcana check?
Okay. Ha! I'm stupid. 3.
Your knowledge is very focused, and whether or not an ingredient that you could use for a particular concoction, whether or not it could be used in other types of potions, either lethal or non-lethal, you don't quite have that knowledge.
Okay. Alright, I guess if that's it, I put the bag back and I carry about my business till he's calling it quits.
Another hour passes and Brendel kind of goes up to what was his name? Grimby, the captain, and the captain hands him a small pouch, his payment for the day.
I hold my hand out.
Yeah, and Grimby also produces you, and he hands you 10 gold pieces.
All right.
Thank
you very much,
labor.
Captain.
Aye, thank you for the help. And I hope to see you, and he speaks to you directly, Bryn.
Yep.
In the morning.
Yep, I'll be here. All right, Brendel. Let's go to the Asinine.
Oh, excellent, yes. I sure could use a drink. That hard day's work.
Oh, I feel ya. So I'm sobered up by now.
And you guys continue back to the Leopard. Bryn, you may or may not really recall how to get back there, but Brendel does.
Oh yeah, I definitely just followed everyone to the boat, drunk as a skunk. Yeah.
Yeah. And you two enter the Asinine Leopard. You see Falzy and Gozer kind of sitting at a table. Mm-hmm. And Thuft, of course. What have Falzy and Gozer been doing in the last kind of hour?
Just eating my shepherd's pie and enjoying my ale.
I'm just kind of watching him, eerily so, just watching him to see if he's gonna be different than what he usually is.
Do I see Brendel walk in?
Yeah, who sees who first?
Why don't both of you make a perception check? Unless you're not very interested in kind of...
I'm pretty much eyes on Falzy only.
Okay.
We are playing with critical fails and skill checks.
That's a 1.
Makes for a great story.
So Falzy and you're very distracted by Gozer's kind of intent stare. I mean, you've seen her stare at things that she may be deciding to kill before. This could be slightly reminiscent of such a stare.
Okay.
Bryn's gonna choose to announce really loudly, "Hey, Falzarin! Hey, Gozer!" so that they turn to attention.
Okay. And yeah, Falzarin at Bryn's beck, you lift your gaze kind of away from breaking this weird eye contact with Gozer, and you see standing next to Bryn, the door of the Asinine Leopard, you see your friend Brendel.
I look up, shocked, and I say, Brendel, what are you doing here?
Falzarin,
great to see you.
My gods, I've been looking for you everywhere. Thank God you came back to Port Randus.
I jump up and I run over and give him a hug.
Yes, and he embraces you as well.
And I say, What brings you out here? What are you up to?
Oh, my word. And he kind of has both hands on your shoulders as he's clearly very happy to see you. It's so great to see you. I'm afraid, though, the merriment will be rained upon a bit, as I have some bad news.
Some bad What happened?
Why, I'm afraid our classmate Memnar, he's passed away.
What? Oh, not Memnar. He was not very old. I mean, he was in the prime of his life.
I know it's a tragedy and a mystery, quite frankly. I mean, his shortly after you left, his health degraded, and I tried myself, giving him all types of healing potions I could think of to craft, and the finest ingredients and at no expense, and it just no use. Nobody could help him. He's passed.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sad to hear that.
Now, I know you two had some differences in the past, but I'm hoping you can come back for the memorial service. I mean, that is why I wanted to be the one to tell you. He was quite fond of you.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative of you making the effort to come and find me. That's terrible news. When is this going to be happening?
Well, quite shortly, in a matter of a few days. I mean, part of Memar's last wishes was to get the old band back together, and they are putting it off as long as possible. But we've only a few days before the scheduled date.
I see.
It is just luck that I happened to find you, as I did travel to Zexa looking for you. And alas, I arrived after you had already departed.
Yeah, he says he ran into Izzy. Ain't that great?
Oh.
Yes. And he leans in a little bit and kind of speaks a little softly. Well, Bryn here has been telling me a few things about this Isabella woman.
Yeah, sorry, Falzy.
What did she seem like to you, Brendel?
Well, as I explained to Bryn, my interaction with her was very short. She seemed quite polite and quite taken with you, and was also concerned about where you had departed to. Very quickly, she had said you had left Zexa. Unfortunately, she didn't know where you had left to, and I, of course, hit a dead end as well.
It's okay. He knows we ran back into her. I kind of told him a little bit about how we just left
I
her.
hear you had quite the adventure. She captured you?
Yes, I mean, there's probably enough to tell that would take all night if we wanted to sit down and talk about it. Suffice to say, a lot has happened since we've last seen each other. A lot has changed, and we've got a lot of catching up to do. Maybe now's not the best time to go into all the details, but
Bryn looks at Gozer and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, we've been wondering what happened in that cave, and when she took you. You haven't really told us about when she took you." And
well, I think I've explained to you guys.
You told us
as
about
much as I know.
Sort of your deal, but you didn't really tell us everything that she, did.
Deal?
Don't feel like you can't talk in front of us, is all I'm saying.
You've made some kind of deal with this woman?
Well, Brendel, this probably isn't the best place to get into all of the nitty gritty.
He can talk in front of us,
He
right, Gozer?
avoided bad death.
There's lots of people around, apart from this group of
He can talk in
friends
front
that
of
I've
us,
made
right,
here.
Gozer?
Sure, I can, but we're in the middle of a bar here of this.
Well, I
asinine
didn't think there was
inn.
anything to worry about, I guess. I
Well,
thought you said it's all above board and it's just what you had to do.
I don't know any of these people that are sitting around us.
Okay, fine, I roll.
He kind of looks. Brendel looks at Gozer. A bad death.
Bad death.
I've got no intentions of keeping any secrets from you, Brendel, but there's some things that are probably best discussed a bit more privately.
You got a room yet? We go to your room.
I do have a room, but
I do understand what you're saying, Walden. Yes, there are also some details that I may need to speak with you in private as well. Perhaps just you and I. as delightful as your company seems to be, and he kind of looks at Gozer. I don't believe we've met. I'm Brendel.
I'm sorry for
Puts a hand out to shake Gozer's hand.
for being rude, Brendel. This is Gozer.
Gozer just looks at him.
You've met Bryn already, I see, and this here is Thuft.
Ah, my goodness, a goblin. You've befriended a goblin.
Yeah, he's an interesting little fellow.
Why, yes, I would certainly like to spend some time with him myself, actually.
What you want with Thuft?
I am just interested to hear another perspective on life in general, as goblinoid races live quite differently from many other humanoids.
Bryn just kind of chuckles and she's like, "Oh, you magic users. So interested in everything all the time."
Now, Falzarin, I may have overshared some past events in your own life, Falzarin, that with Bryn, forgive me if I spoke out of turn, that perhaps what happened to you as a teenager was related to why this Isabella woman would want to abduct you.
What happened when you're teen?
Once again, this is
Yeah.
this maybe not the time and place.
Piecing together some things here. Interesting. It's, you know what, Falzer, we don't have to talk about it right now, but, you know, we all have pasts. I've shared a little bit about mine. Maybe you'll share a little bit about yours.
Sure.
Just not right here.
Sure.
That's fine.
Well, I mean, I've just had a hard day's work on the docks. I would certainly like to sit down for a drink. Regardless of what the topic of conversation happens to be, I would certainly just like to catch up and listen to hear what has been happening, what your adventures in the last 2 weeks. I mean, such a short time for so many things to happen.
Can I get you something to eat and a drink, Brendel?
Why, yes, I think I would like a plate of meat.
Meat good.
Ah, yes, I knew you and I would get along. And he'll sit down and I don't know what you guys maybe want to regale him with, kind of these weird past events, kind of the Zexa stuff, and I don't know how much you want to divulge, or maybe there are specific things you may want to not divulge to Brendel.
Do I trust him? Like, what's the vibe I'm getting between him and Falzarin? Like, Falzarin trusts him?
It's, well, why don't you make an insight check?
That would be a 24.
It certainly appears that Falzarin is very happy to see Brendel, and Brendel in kind.
Falzarin's been known to share a little bit of too much information and really trust people.
I've lived on Heraculon for quite a while.
I'm going
He
to
said
sit
he was
there.
my best friend.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and listen to stories and chime in when I can, but I won't divulge any details that Falzarin doesn't.
Okay.
Like, chooses to leave out. I will lean over to Brendel and open up my little pouch and say, "Hey, check this out." And I show him the little vial with the pony in it.
Oh.
Oh, my word.
Have you ever seen this before, Brendel?
I sure have. My goodness, I've been trying to perfect the creation of the Equinculus potion for years. Where did you find this?
Well, I mean, that's not important, is it?
We've got a lot to tell you, Brendel. Let me tell you.
I would certainly love to speak with the crafter of such a potion. Perhaps there is something for me to learn.
True. I don't know who made it, though. And as we tell you about our adventures, you'll kind of understand that I don't know where I got this or who made this.
I see.
But pretty cool, right?
Quite fascinating, yes.
She's all, like, excited. You'll have to teach me some more about poison.
Well, I certainly have some knowledge. I do rarely craft poisons, as I really have no need for them. They can certainly be useful for creating antitoxins, should the need rise. As there is some more rural parts of Heraklion that the odd dangerous animals inhabit.
Poison, bad death.
I know, Gozer, I know, but look at me. I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Bad death. Not hero.
Well, I'm killing bad people with poison, let's just say that.
I don't care about that.
So, Brendel, where do I begin?
Are you actually gonna tell him? I thought you were.
recount the last 33 episodes. Or...
Wait, I thought it was just gonna be like an unsaid thing.
No.
All right, here we go.
I think so. So I go into telling him about kind of a brief overview of Zexa, running into this Arcanist and the Flesh Golem. What else would
That's
I tell
how
him?
you met Isabella.
Yeah, that's how I originally met Isabella. And anything you would chime in, Bryn or Gozer?
That's it.
Izzy big, powerful.
Yeah, we can. Izzy kind of wasn't what she originally seemed. We can chat more about that later tonight in private, Brendel. But
Everything later. Gozer don't know why Gozer try.
well, Gozer, there's lots of ears in this bar that are listening to us here.
1, 2, 3, 4. Many.
Yes.
Many
many.
ears.
Duff have ears. Duff have ears.
Yes, 2.
Duff have big ears.
Very big, yes.
I look over at Brendel and I say, "Have you heard about the Paladin's Towers?"
Yeah, who hasn't?
Exactly.
They are
who hasn't?
quite the talk in Heraklion.
That's our current venture, really.
Oh,
This whole Isabella thing is like a side note. I don't know. We've been hired to try to take care of them.
is this true, Falzern? You've taken on contract work now?
Well, I think you know me well enough to know that I'm more interested in finding out more about, is this some sort of magic that's what's going on? These towers seem to be causing a lot of effects in the surrounding areas. How are they doing that is what I'd like to know.
Interesting.
Gozer no care how. Gozer shut down.
You're saying you're ready for bed, Gozer?
No, we're supposed to.
Gozer shut down
we're
towers.
supposed to shut the towers down. I
Oh,
mean, you
I
can
see.
look over there at the job wall, Brendel. We're just one of many groups of adventurers trying to accomplish this, but it pays really well.
Yeah, yes, I have seen the job board. That is, of course, where I knew I could pick up some manual labor down at the docks.
All right, of course. You guys are just so smart, you wizards.
You're quite flattering.
So, is it time to have private talks now?
Well, let's leave off with your kind of recount of the last 2 weeks. And what is Shaft doing?
Ah,
I don't think I want to know.
What is
I
Shaft doing?
actually would like to have about 10 minutes with Leland.
Of
Oh,
course you would.
Oh.
That's disgusting.
okay.
Right.
You
private
keep
time.
that to yourself, you guys. Turn off the
Patreon
recording.
only content.
We're going to the Gooey Goblin.
Oh,
Grungy.
come on.
So, essentially, I'm not going to a brothel. I'm going to go find a place sort of out on my own, and I'm going to use my scrying stone again,
Okay.
our token. And I would like to try to find my brother,
Danzig,
which, Danzig, yes.
a.k.a. Spike.
So I was looking at the scrying spell here. I would think I would be familiar. I know the target well, which would give me a -5 for the save. But I don't have a likeness, picture, garment, body part, lock of hair, or anything like that from him. So I don't get the additional bonuses. So essentially you have to roll a save on... I read it a bunch of times now. Wisdom save. And your DC is going to be 16, I believe.
Okay.
And this is basically just to be able to see if he is aware of the sphere.
And this is something you've never really had a need to attempt before, despite having this eye of the scry for however long
So
it's been in
yeah,
your possession.
I've had the Eye of the Scrying. At least I believe I picked that up in Drakal years after I last saw my brother, and my assumption was my brother had disappeared or died, and I'd never took the time to try to use this eye to find him.
Right, as it does have limited uses.
Yes.
Seems fruitless to use it on a dead man.
Right, and being the case that I just heard his name, and I do know that he was studying the ways of being a warlock, and had turned much more to the darker side. I'm curious as to what his alignment is with Erica and maybe even by extension
Isabella.
Isabella, damn it. Yeah, Isabella.
Okay, so here's the wisdom check here. 15.
Oh, good. Okay. So on a failed save, the spell creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of your target. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. The sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet for its duration, which is 10 minutes. So I would like to just see if I can find Danzig and see what he's doing.
Okay. The successful cast once again of your this scry spell. You for the second time you get this image of a cave, the walls of which are very clearly like glistening with moisture and like dripping, and you can just hear the slow drip of water droplets hitting a larger pool of water. And you see your brother Danzig, almost unrecognizable, as some of his features seem to have twisted in almost immeasurable ways, like just very subtle changes in kind of his facial features, and even in like the skin tone. And beside him is another person you recognized, a woman named Surma. And they're surrounded by, kind of encircled by a group of hooded figures. These circled figures, they have their arms kind of up in the air, like in a kind of a Y shape, and they're all like interlocking hands, and kind of this low chanting. They're just bellowing. It seems like it's the same phrase kind of over and over again, but it's not in a language that you understand.
As if summoning something?
It appears that way, as Surma and Danzig, they have a bound man between them, each holding an ornately jeweled dagger in their hands. And Surma pulls kind of out of this bag, she pulls out what looks like a squid. Kind of its legs kind of winding around, and it's still clearly alive, and it's grasping at anything it can get its hands on. And she kind of puts it over this bound man's face, and it just kind of wraps around his head, very clearly cutting off all of his airwaves. Simultaneously, Surma and Danzig stab into this man with their daggers, and they have also now picked up their own chant, different than the encircled hooded figures, but very evidently the same language, still unrecognizable to you, but distinctly different. Surma stabs the man in his stomach as Danzig stabs into the squid, and the squid kind of, you see this ink just leak out around this man's covered face, kind of between the squid's legs and covering his body and into his stomach wound. The man, you can still make out like muffled screams as the ink kind of mixes with his blood, and it forms this very familiar black slime you recognize as being looking similar to what was contaminating the stymied river. As it kind of just flows, empties out of his body, there's kind of this bright like red light that just kind of almost like an explosion of light, and the man just slumps to the floor motionless as Danzig and Surma, they kind of wipe off their daggers and put them back into their little sheaths that are just as ornately jeweled as the dagger's hilt itself. And all the surrounding figures, they kind of just lower their hands, and they just kind of file out of an opening in this cave that clearly leads to like a pool of water. Like, you know, it's like as if this water edge is kind of up to where the opening of this entrance would be, and they just kind of descend as if they're descending into stairs that are like flooded stairs. They just walk into this pool of water, completely submerging themselves and disappearing from sight. And your scry spell kind of, and its 10 minutes kind of ends as you've again witnessed another one of these rituals. But before it finally snuffs out, you see Danzig kind of walk over to another kind of pool, kind of like behind where your original view of this ritual would have been, as this orb kind of twists to follow Danzig, and he walks over to you see this cavern opens up to a much larger pool and body of water. No clear ways in or out of it that are above the level of it, but deep inside you see this swirling dark mass as this abyssal slime that's oozing out of the deceased man is like almost with a life of its own, pouring into this body of water and kind of culminating in the center of this pool. And your vision, the scry spell ends, and that's what you see.
And that's our show. Our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. For your own musical inquiries, contact jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. All other music and ambient noise is courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. Visit criticalhitdesign.com for all of your graphic design needs. You can find more info on the characters and world at incorrigibleparty.com. Enjoying the show? Have any questions or rules corrections? Email us. contact@incorrigibleparty.com or reach out on social media. The Incorrigible Party on Facebook and Instagram, @IncorrigiblePar on Twitter, using the hashtag AfterPartyIP for a shout out during our behind the screen after party episodes that drop every 4th release. Happy adventuring!